What's the best and worst thing about being freelance?
Well, you're an unemployed freelancer, as you've told us. Now we know what the worst thing is.
Look, the best thing about being a freelancer is the freedom that you get. You know, I can walk on Hampstead Heath at 2 o'clock in the afternoon when it snows. I don't have to phone in sick and pretend that I can't get in to work. I just go and make a snowman. That's the bottom line.
It's a bit like being a student, really, then, isn't it? Yeah.
I mean, it's not really changed for me. The lifestyle since being a student was. I don't know. I mean, the thing is, last year. I mean, this just puts me in context. Last year, 2008, was my best year, creatively and critically. I created a film for Channel 4 called A1 The Road Musical, which was a musical about a road, which shows the kind of person that I am, I suspect. But it was pick of the day in every newspaper. It had, very high viewing figures. It was very well received. But I only earned £4,000 for 6 months' work on that television programme. So, as director and composer of the piece. So one of the drawbacks of being a freelancer is that you kind of get shat on, and you don't have the backing of a union. So, for example, when I had a short period where I worked specifically for HSBC, making those films, trying to fleece them out of money. I once made a musical for HSBC, and I went to Swansea to record one of their staff who had told me she had a wonderful singing voice. So I went all the way to Swansea, booked a recording studio, and she didn't turn up because she didn't feel very well. So I phoned her up and said...
Maybe she was making a snowman.
She probably was, yeah. So I phoned up and said to her, this is no good. I've come all the way to Swansea. You're not here. I'm going to have a word with your boss and tell them that I think that this is not the sort of thing that somebody like you should be doing. She went to her unions. I was forced to send her a bouquet of flowers to apologise for telling her off for not turning up, and then I was fired. So, if that gives you some indication...
Worked then, did it?
Is this a plot in your new film?
Yeah.
The bottom line is, particularly in the theatre industry, you can be sacked for almost anything. People sleep their way to the top. That happens. That's no myth. I don't think the government gives a damn about the creative industries at all. I think that I felt very ashamed when I hear from funding organisations, I have to apply to the Arts Council. I'm now ticking white other as my ethnicity because and playing, and remembering my Jewish and Gypsy heritage because it's all about box ticking. It's all about, and this is something that I'm coming up against all the time. The other thing I would say about being a creative person is you never relax. Sorry, not a creative person, a freelancer. You never relax. You always feel, oh my God, I'm not in work anymore. I need to be working for something else. So you don't go on holiday. You just think, oh, I better try and set up the next job. So there's always that sort of panic, and the fact that you can't always put your eggs into one basket. You have to prepare the next thing and generate another 50,000 ideas that you can take.
Who else has ever been a freelance?
I can see a lot of you changing courses this evening. Don't. We're all bitter and twisted. I started as a freelancer out of uni. I came out in late 90s and... late 90s? No, late 80s, sorry. And there weren't many jobs around at all. You had to have loads of experience, and there was a recession then. I mean, it's not as bad as this one. And I got a job, and I ended up in creative industries, but quite largely digital. And it was when Apple Macs was sort of really booming, and publishing was sort of becoming democratised a bit before the internet. And I loved being a freelancer in those days because I could go to work in my pyjamas because it was my spare bedroom down the hallway. And I could, the pleasure of going up to London, and I moved to Brighton at that stage, going up to London for the day, working, being appreciated for the work that you did that day, going home, printing out the invoice, taking it to the post box the next morning, and then getting a cheque a month later, if you're lucky, was actually really pleasurable because you are kind of in charge of your own destiny. But after about three and a half years of that, I found that not having a kind of team, if you like, a team that you might go down the pub with after work, or a group of people that you grow together with, that you collaborate a lot more. On a freelancer, the kind of clock's ticking all the time. So you typically sort of go in, work somewhere for a while, and then go somewhere else. And I didn't really enjoy that, so I ended up sort of starting a company. So for me, the freelancer transition was very enjoyable. It's very empowering. You can make snowmen if you want. It is stressful. If you worry about money, forget being a freelancer. Don't go there. Just get a job. I would say not in a bank, but somewhere safe. If anywhere, a university maybe. I wouldn't be a freelancer if you worry about money. But if you're someone that is, that likes to, run your own life, then it's a brilliant life. If you do it in your 20s, it might be a bit too soon. I think it's quite nice to do it a bit later too.